Hello, and welcome to this month's edition of Career Conversations, a podcast series hosted by the Career and Internship Center. I'm your host, Matthew Johnson, the Internship and Recruitment Coordinator in the Career and Internship Center. And today we have with us a UB alum and Vice President of Marketing at TEDCO, Tammy Thomas.
Hello, hello, hello.
So Tammy leads the development of TEDCO's marketing communication strategy while contributing to strategic operations. Her expertise and leadership are instrumental as she stewards the organization through exciting growth to expand support for technology-based businesses that thrive in Maryland and beyond. She brings more than 25 years in marketing and with senior level experience developing strategy, managing partnerships, and facilitating initiatives and events in the technology, government, and higher education sectors. Tammy is a highly regarded expert in the industry and taught marketing and communications courses at Bowie State and the University of Baltimore as an adjunct professor. So welcome back to UB, Tammy.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And also with us today, we have two of our wonderful UB students. We have Narabia Wright, digital communications major, and Kira Guy, also digital communications major. So Kira and Narabia have come today to ask you a few questions to kind of figure out what your story is, who you are, where you come from, and kind of how you traveled on this career development path to where you are today.
Sounds like
All right. So I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to ask the first question by asking what led you to be a student at University of Baltimore?
Thank you. That's a great question. I had just moved from Alabama to Maryland, and I had thought about going back to school. I already had a undergrad in marketing, and I wanted to go back for my master's, and was a little leery in going back to school because it had been a little while, and I wanted to make sure I found a school that could fit my lifestyle because I was also working. So I figured I would just take an undergrad class just to get my feet wet. And I have a love of math, so I chose a statistics class at the University of Baltimore, and I went to that class, and the professor, I have to tell you, he was amazing. He made math so exciting. All of the students, we would get to class early, and we would stay afterwards asking him a lot of questions. So it was just such a beautiful experience that I figured I had to go here for my master's. So I came to UB because of this fantastic statistics course that I took from a professor that loved mathematics.
Awesome. Do you still keep in touch with that professor at all?
Not him, but I do keep in touch with one of the marketing professors here that I also became a mentor for me.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Kira, do you want to go?
Well, besides the statistic experience, can you talk about your favorite academic experience at UB?
Okay, now that's hard to top because he was so fabulous. But I would say it would be my strategic management class that I took in the MBA program. It allowed us the opportunity to do an economic development project where we were looking at the synergies between Baltimore and Krakow, Poland. So during the course of that semester, this cohort, we did a research project, and then during spring break, we traveled to Poland to present our study at the University of Economics in Krakow, Poland, and it was amazing. I never thought I would be able to do something like that, and I did it with my classmates. It wasn't just an academic experience. It was a cultural enlightenment. It was fantastic.
Okay. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Arabia?
Okay, so as an UB alumni student, for you, how would you describe the transition from being a student and then leading to your professional for your desired field?
Okay, that's another wonderful question. I would say that it was a smooth transition from being a student to professional life. For one, I was already working and I had my undergrad degree, but my MBA really took it up a notch. It helped me to do more in-depth research. It helped me to work with people from different disciplines, because when you go through your MBA, this cohort that I was in, we had doctors and lawyers going back to school for their masters, and you were able to pull different strengths in order to reach a milestone, to get a project done. And that really helped me with what I was doing on my in my professional field. So it was a smooth transition. I felt very confident that I could lead any project at any organization I went to, after I graduated from the University of Baltimore.
So I actually have just a quick follow-up question on that. So you mentioned about how a lot of people in your cohort were from different disciplines, right? You
Yes.
said like lawyers. So I would say in your department, do you like see people from different backgrounds, like different academic disciplines, and how
Definitely.
well that kind of fits into the success of your department?
Thank you for that question, too, the follow-up question, because it was more than even just discipline. At the time that I was going to school here in the late 90s, University of Baltimore was also a diverse population. So you're working with people that aren't just in different disciplines, they're from different countries. And so it really helped me for my professional field, because at the time, as soon as I graduated from University of Baltimore, I went to work in higher ed again. And you're around scientists, academics that are coming from all parts of the world. And my experience here really helped me to be able to communicate with people in a way that helped me to be successful. So I did more research and understanding that this person is coming from a different culture, from a different part of the world, or let's say their mindset might be different. Like if you're working with a graphic designer that is very creative, and then over here you're working with a biochemist who might be a little bit more analytical.
Yeah,
You're like,
absolutely.
okay, I can talk to both worlds. So it was great. It helped me have a strong foundation to be successful.
Perfect. So being
Did I
able,
answer?
yeah, 100%. So being able to like adapt and learn and be able to kind of be understanding and absorb all the different kind of avenues people are coming from, and
True. And the beauty of it, going to a school like University of Baltimore, is that a lot of us were working. And so you're going to school while you're working. I mean, some people had worked at night and they were daytime students. So I mean, the population was very diverse, and you become more confident in your own strength. So when you're meeting with people that might have a PhD in bioengineering, and you might have somebody that has, studied art in Paris, when you walk in that room that you can hold your own. So while you're making sure that you are being a team player and you're listening, you've also been equipped with being a leader. And so that helps you to, stand out, gives you a competitive advantage.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Kieran?
My question is, what part of your job do you find most satisfying?
What part of my job do I find most satisfying? Okay, so that's going to be hard because I really love what I do. But the organization that I work for, we help to discover, invest in, and grow technology-led companies in Maryland. So my most favorite part of my job is helping these startup companies, these entrepreneurs, market their products and their services so that they can grow their company and get follow-on investments. Because the more they grow, the more opportunities that they can give to our to Marylanders. And so I just love it. These are people that have put their all of their resources online to try and create something and do something for the world. And I have a small part in helping them be successful. So you just feel like I don't know. You get up every day, can't wait to get into the office to help them. Okay.
You ready?
Okay, so for my second question, recently we've been able to see how light has been shed on conversations about mental illness and the importance of one being, really in tune with themselves. For you, how do you manage to balance a lifestyle that includes family, work, self-care, and issues that are going on within society?
Okay, that's a loaded question. Like, okay, how do I have the solution to solve all the problems in the world?
Well, how do you, maneuver through it?
Right. Well, I would say that for me, the most important thing is to have a positive mindset. Positive. You have to start out with that. And to be in tune with my purpose in life. I feel that I'm a servant leader. It's important for me to help people, and so I know that about myself, and I try to maneuver my life with being positive in how I help people, and I make sure that I keep positive energy in my life. I read good books. I like to exercise. I surround myself with positive people. So there's always two ways to look at any kind of situation, and I choose to look at it from a positive perspective. And so it helps me to balance out my life, in knowing when I need to be there for my daughter, when I need to reach out to my girlfriends to help sew into my life, when I need to work a 10-hour or 12-hour day because I have to help out this entrepreneur who, if they can't meet this milestone, they might not be able to move their company forward. So it's always a balancing act, but I look at it from a positive perspective. Okay.
I just
That's
have
excellent.
another question too.
Yeah, go for
You
it.
said that you read a lot of books. What book are you reading right now?
So I am a voracious reader. In fact, one of the reasons that I chose to even live in the county that I live in is because it's usually rated the #1 public library system in the nation. So I read a lot.
Right.
So at any given time, I might have 3 books that I'm reading. One that's associated with sewing into my life on the work side. One that is like, it might be, on Oprah's list, and then the other one might be that one that you don't want to tell anybody. So I'll give you one. I really like John Maxwell's 21 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork. It's just, I really like his professional books because they align with my values. And so I just like to make sure that I keep that in my spirit, that I'm supposed to be helping people and have teamwork and ways to better my thought process. So that's one book. But I'll also say I like I'll do poetry books. I'll even go back old school. I'll do Nikki Giovanni's Ego
There we go. There we go.
and Langston Hughes and Walt Whitman, Emerson's Self-Reliance of a Man. And I'll tell you, my favorite essay of all is, and it's not an essay really, but it's read as an essay, is Martin Luther King's Drum Major Instinct. It was, he talks about how we all have an instinct to be #1. But he goes on to say that it's nothing wrong with you being competitive of being #1, but why not be #1 in love and #1 in helping our fellow man? So if you get a chance, please read that one, Martin Luther King's Drum Major Instinct, my favorite essay.
Love that. Thanks for appreciate that
Okay.
that sharing. So we have 2 final questions.
Okay.
One, just off the top of my head, I just now was thinking about it, is if you had to pick like a secondary academic route or like professional route, what would it have been?
A secondary?
Yeah, like
you mean-
outside of marketing, outside of kind of the professional track that you are on now. If
Okay.
you had to go a different route.
Okay, so see, he's throwing me a because
It's like a passion that you might want to turn
no,
into.
I get it. It's just that like I picked marketing when
Yeah.
I was in high school.
Oh.
Like other people, like I scored high on in the sciences.
Okay.
So people were trying to push me down that route, and then others thought that I had the gift of gab, so I might be a lawyer. So in fact, then if you're saying you want marketing, people are like, what's marketing?
Yeah.
Like you're going for like so. I've always wanted to
Okay.
do marketing, but I think if I had to choose something else, it probably would have been teaching second grade.
Oh, okay.
And the reason being is that my second grade teacher, Miss Isfan, I loved her. She sewed into my life with my love of reading and math. And so I think that if I had to do it all again, I would be a second grade teacher.
Cool. Interesting. All right, and the last one is, if you had to give your college self advice
Okay.
right now, what advice would you give?
If I had to give my college self, wait a minute, which college self? The grad college self or the undergrad college self? Because I'm kind of old, so we gotta. Which one? Talking about the undergrad?
let's go undergrad. Yeah. I feel like it's a
Okay.
really transformational time period. So,
Yes.
yeah, let's go
Okay.
with it.
So, in fact, it would still be the same for both. I was just playing with you.
you almost got me off guard there for a second. Okay.
I would say to choose your passion and go into it with the mindset that you're going to be a lifelong learner. I think so often people get hung up that they have to pick the right discipline going out the bat. But if you're thinking that, okay, you're going to be around for 80, 100 years, I mean, remember you're having that positive thought process, then what are you passionate about right now? And jump in there and go for that. Because if you pick something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life because it'll never be a job to you.
That's perfect. That's
Okay.
perfect. Yeah, I actually had an old coach who used to say that to us too.
See?
Yeah, you
Okay.
love what you do, you never work a day. in your
Right,
life. It's
right,
absolutely
right.
perfect. All right, so that's actually all the questions we have today. We wanted to thank you,
Fantastic.
Tammy, for coming out,
Thank you.
answering all of our questions,
Thank
just
you
being
for
a
having me.
fantastic guest. And to our students for all the awesome questions, thank you so much for showing up here today.
Yes.
We also want to extend a special thanks to our friend Mark in Office of Technology Services for extending a helping hand with all this operations, as well as the Office of Alumni Relations for reaching out to you and getting us connected with you.
Thank you so much.
So that's actually all we have for today. So please stay connected for our future Career Conversations podcast coming out. And if you are looking for any more career development opportunities, stop in Career and Internship Center.